Well, Gareth, it's a week on from that wonderful victory your team enjoyed over Wrexham. What's the mood in the camp a week on going into Charlton?
Yeah, really good, and it was a fantastic night. It really was. Nothing that I didn't think we were capable of. I've seen it before. I've seen it in training. There have been a few changes around the place, but really proud of the boys, the effort they put in, the battling they showed. Obviously teams are going to have chances now and again, but we showed real resilience. We showed a never going to score against us sort of attitude, which was great. Really was, and I thought there was some outstanding performances that night. Really was, and I just want to back it up now. It's a tough run without a shadow of a doubt. With Charlton coming up, and then Stockport, Mansfield. I think Reading, Bolton are in there. We have a tough run, definitely, but we seem to produce in the tough games. We really have, and I'm expecting the same again from the boys. I need the same application, I need the same energy, same positivity, same belief. We've added one or two more to the group, which is great, but also I know what I've got in the building now a lot more than when I first walked in, and that's important for me. I know what I can get out of certain players, and they deserve that win. They really did. And I think that we're capable of beating anyone, but it's just consistency. We have to be consistent now and start climbing that league, because it's a good job we've won these games, because everyone else seems to be winning around us, and it's getting very tight at the bottom now. So we want to be in the fight, because I believe we've got a real chance with our running towards the end of the season. I want to be in amongst it, and I believe that we've got a chance definitely of finishing above that line.
What are your thoughts about going down to the Valley to face Charlton Athletic? You had a terrific win in midweek at Bolton.
I've seen them, and they are a very, very good side. Nathan Jones is a manager I've had many, many battles with, possibly the most I've faced of other managers. Maybe Mark Robbins is up there as well, because of the situation of the clubs where we moved up together through the leagues. And Nathan was always a fierce competitor, very intense. And he's gone to a club who've got good resources. You can say that with the players they've signed. There's some real big names there. You look at their bench the other night, never mind their starters, and they've got a good side. They've got a good squad, and that's what being an ex-Premier League club like Charlton with the. I know it went through its tough times, so I'm not going to say they've got millions and millions, but they've really turned the corner, and with the new owners now, they're coming in, investing. They want to get back to that Premier League without a doubt. They've got a huge stadium in London, and a good history. And Nathan signed well. He really has. Watching them, I'm very aware of their strengths. It's undoubtedly going to be a tough game, but we have thrived in our tough games. We really have. Away from home, I want to pick up my first win. That's really important to me. Home form's great. We're doing well in that, but to come back from the Valley with something would be a real treat for us on Saturday. Because the boys are training really hard, deserving what they're getting at the moment. But there's some tough teams to come, and Charlton being the first one on Saturday.
How's availability looking? Aaron Pierre went on half-time against Wrexham. You picked up a few other knocks, didn't you, in that game? How's it looking?
Yeah, Aaron's not as bad as we first thought, which is great, and that was precaution taking him off. So hopefully be involved, and everyone else, we're right up there with availability. We have the odd whack, twist, kick, bruise here and there, same as every club this time of year. Coming out of that Christmas period, obviously you're shattered. You're shattered as a manager, you're shattered as a player. We gave them a couple of days off after Leyton Orient, and the boys repaid me. They really did, and I think the Huddersfield game being off may be a blessing, although we're going to have some congestion towards the end of the season. But it was well timed. The physio team and the medical and sports science boys are doing a great job in the loading, keeping everything right, and keeping everyone available. So yeah, we're hopefully at full availability for the weekend.
It's been a busy week again, comings and goings. Let's first of all maybe look at the departures. Carl Winchester has left the club, the captain, to return home to Northern Ireland. Your thoughts on Carl in the time you've worked with him?
Yeah, fantastic character. Obviously, the first player I spoke to when I came in. You do that as a manager. You come in, you speak to the captain, you get a handle on things, and we had a really good relationship, and he played a big part in the results we've got. You know, and he probably only featured in 2 or 3 of the games because he got injured just before the Wycombe game, but. He was sensational in that first game against Birmingham. Real leader, showed what his boys, his troops, what he was all about and what he wanted them to follow in the dressing room and around the place. Nothing but the consummate professional, you know. And then came and saw me and said, you know, which I think was really brave of him, but also shows what a great relationship we had. Talking about how much he missed home, and I can totally understand it. He's got a young family now. You know, he got a few days off over Christmas, and I think that really hurt him coming back, because I know, you know, when you got a 3-year-old and you've been in England for so long and forged a great career and 500 games, he really missed home. And I think that the chat we had, this happens in life, and you know, in every job, you know, people miss home, and sometimes they have to make steps to do the right thing. I've always said family first, and there's much more important things in the world than football, definitely. All I can say is, what a guy, and thank you for all your efforts, Carl. You were magnificent for me, and won't have a bad word said against him, and I hope he forges a brilliant career in Ireland where he started all those years ago, and you know, good luck to Carl. And he's already texted me, said he'll be looking for the results, he'll be looking, and he'll be right behind us, and you know, hopefully he's going to be celebrating at the end of the season just as well.
And you've allowed Joe Young, the goalkeeper, to go out on loan to Brackley to play some games?
Yeah, absolute no-brainer, you know. I'm not surprised Brackley come in for him. My only surprise is probably higher teams haven't been in for him, because he's a cracking kid, cracking keeper. Really is, you know, and he's been brilliant again from day one coming in, you know. And Jamal, me knowing Jamal being available at the time and free, was probably the only person it wasn't great for was Joe, because you know, Toby, I thought we needed to rotate, we get out. You know, it was a tough period that he'd been through from the start of the season, really. And Joe was right in line, and Jamal becoming available, I've worked with before, I think has been fantastic, and that's been justified, that one. But Joe needed to play, and he's been doing well. He had a great game at Scunthorpe the other night, even though they lost. The reports coming back are really good, and we'll keep tabs on him. Brian Jensen was at that game, you know. We're not going to just say out of mind. We're going to keep tabs on him, and again, real good professional, and Joe's definitely you know, part of this squad.
You mentioned Jamal Blackman. You've managed to come to an agreement for him to stay now till the end of the season. How pleased are you about that, and how pleased are you generally about the impact he's had since coming to the club?
Yeah, don't he? He's made a good start to his Shrewsbury Town career, you know. He comes and he collects things in the air that most keepers can't, because they're not as tall as him. We've openly said I want him to get fitter. I think he's been out of the game and let himself go a little bit, but games, training every single day, he's definitely getting fitter, he's getting sharper. I don't think he's at his best yet, so I think there's a lot more to come from Jamal, and Jamal is such a great lad. Nothing phases him. He's very steady in his head. You know, he was a young man when I took him from Chelsea and gave him his debut at Wycombe. Now he's got a family. He's more mature. He has been out of the game, which sometimes really matures players and makes them aware of exactly no one's too big to just be out of football. And Jamal's going to grab everything with both hands, if you excuse the pun. He really is, and I'm hoping that he can continue this cracking form that he's in.
2 new arrivals this week. First of all, Dominic Gabe, a player you know well from working together for so long at Wycombe. How pleased are you to get this one completed?
Yeah, Dominic's an absolute leader, captain. You know, if we were worried about Carl Winchester going out because of his leadership, then Dominic Gabe can come in and really add to you know what. John Marcus has been fantastic since I walked in, trying to lead the boys, and we haven't got too many big voices in that dressing room, and Dom will add to that, definitely. You know, again, professionalism, you know, through the roof. He's had his injuries, and we all know that, and people will be looking on the internet going, well, why didn't he play here, why didn't he play here? He got injured and he was out for quite a long period, but he's worked his absolute socks off to get back, you know. What he brings to that midfield is some solidity, some tactical knowledge, real leadership, organisation skills. So great to have Dom involved, and yeah, he's again one who fell out the game a little bit because, you know, there's so many people who want to be professional footballers. Everybody is ready to take your chance. I don't think people realise how difficult it is to be a football player. It really is, because there's always somebody there to take your place, to take that chance and to say, right, there's an opening there, I'm in. Everybody wants to be a football player. We've got all these academies, fantastic, and to be fair, once you're out of the game for a little period of time, somebody will take your place and somebody will jump in there, and it can ease you out. But Dom's been brilliant, and I think it shows the standing of the man that he went down to the non-league to go, okay, I'll go and get some games, I'll prove to everyone I'm fit, which he needed to do, and yeah, a fit Dom Gape is a very good player to have in your squad. So I'm really looking forward to getting Dom involved, and yeah, his first few training sessions, already seeing what a great player he was, and is going to be for Shrewsbury.
And you've now added Ricardo Denanga, who's been having such a good season, not too far from here for Telford. How excited are you to get Ricardo added to the squad as well?
Yeah, Ricardo. Obviously, the club have been tracking Ricardo for a long time. You know, before me, and he was a name that was flagged up to me when I walked in, and you know, I think the last player we got, or a story from Telford we got, was Dan Udo, you know, a few years ago. So if there can be anything like that, then it will definitely be a success story. Obviously, he's coming in. He's going to have to get used to the professional game, because he was at Coventry at the start of his career. Let go, which again happens for people, but he's played a lot of men's football. All I can say is he's quick. He gets at people, very positive with his movement, and has got a goal in him. So they all sound great. The level is obviously a step up, but you know, we'll be watching him, and hopefully he can make an impact. But it's again about developing him and making him a better player. But yeah, great to have Ricardo under the roof as well. Ricardo
Denanga and Callum Stewart, who's recently joined from Leamington, are they going to be part of it immediately in terms of really pushing for first team football? Yeah, well, Callum was on the bench the other day, so you know, with only really two recognised strikers here, in John Marquise and George Lloyd, then you know, it was a bit of a no-brainer to have a backup on the bench with Callum. So yeah, listen, I'll make sure that people are ready, and if anyone gets on that pitch, they will be up to the task, and that's my job. You know, it's like I say, I'm hoping to get a couple more of my signings in before the end of the window, and that'll be important, I think, for the group as well. So it's just to bolster the numbers, but also add some quality and some. Yeah, I think we've lacked a certain type of player here, and I want to bring that type in. We'll see if I can do that. No, really pleased for where we are at the moment. You know, there's been quite a few outgoings, quite a few incomings. I think new faces are always good at a place. You know, January is always a tough one to do wholesale changes. We're trying to do as many as we can without, you know, totally upsetting the apple cart, because that's what happens. Summer's the big windows. They're the ones you've got to get right, and I think that you know, once we get there, we'll have a great summer window. But right now, we've got a week and a bit left of the January window. We've got some big games coming up and a real chance of staying in League One. All I want to do is bring players in that are good enough to do that, make an impact, and hopefully we can do that. Are you close to bringing anybody else in at the moment? Do you think something might be completed before Charlton?
Yeah, there's every chance. We've got names galore. Availability, achievability. You know, they're two big things. You know, clubs, honestly, players have been available, and then after the game midweek, they're now not available because there's injuries elsewhere at other clubs. It changes by the minute sometimes, doesn't it? You know, and that's why you have to have not one, not two, but about 10 players. You know, and as a manager, it's really tough. And being right down in the pecking order doesn't help. It really doesn't. You know, people will much rather go to higher league clubs, or a club that may be getting promoted, or a club that maybe is in central London because it's such an attractive place to live, and all these things come into it. I'm saying to everyone, Shropshire's lovely. I'm loving Shrewsbury, I really am at the moment, and if I can attract some players here and they can spread the word, then that'd be fantastic. But I am to bring players in that will improve us, will help us get over that line, and yeah, anyone who comes in this building now will be ready to get into this scrap that we're in, and get above that relegation line by the end of the season. That's all I want to do.
Some of the lone players have moved on. You've still got Josh Feeney, Funzo Ojo, and Leo Castledine. Is there any indication that those three will be able to stay for the rest of the season?
Yeah, they were loaned for the season, with recalls in January, I think, and details of how that happens. At the moment, really happy with all three. I think all three had terrific games against Wrexham, and I'd be stupid to start saying let's change them. Let's get, they've been here with me 8 weeks now. They know the way I play. They know the way I train. They know what I expect, and that's what I need. I know that once everyone's on board with the way I want things done, the way that we play, the way that we can achieve, you'll see some fantastic results. You really will, because I totally believe in me and my staff and the way we do things. We've already shown glimpses of that, and I'm really hoping that we can take this club to heights that people didn't believe we could get to. I really want to do that, but right now, right here, none of those three will be leaving this club. If it was down to me, obviously other clubs are involved in everything, but I want them all there. I think they're all totally bought into this fight. I think Josh has been fantastic since he came back in the side, improving game by game. Leo, just a competitor in there, as Funds, and when Funds gets that ball, he has that little bit of quality to us, but they're all fighting and scrapping and battling, and three great players to have in your squad.
All the best for this weekend. Thanks for your time, Gareth.
Thanks, Danny.